Conversate for a few.
Welcome to the next episode of Conversate for a Few. I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely is not. This is a podcast about hip hop. What we doing today, bro?
We're talking Kanye West docu-series, Jeen-Yuhs. We want to talk a little bit about the first part.
Okay. Well, so let's do a whole review kind of recap, and then
we do a whole review recap then.
Yeah, let's do it like that. See, the reason I say that, let's do it this way. So we'll do our recap, not recap, but like a reaction review,
right?
Whatever. And then to bring in some other perspective, I think because it was 3 parts, we'll do. This is our part 1, but we'll do another part with Keisha McDougal from Straight to Tape podcast.
Right, okay.
And then we'll do another one with Black Jeen-Yuhs, you know what I'm saying? Music producer and videographer / cinematographer, you know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang Clan. They both Wu-Tang Clan, but
Yeah.
So I think because it was broken into 3 parts, we'll do a 3-part series of our own.
Okay.
But this first part will be me and you.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, and I'm just going off of the first part, but it could be any part. Was there anything? Well, of course, there's a lot of things that you probably learned or we saw that we didn't see before or know before. But what is like something substantial that stuck out to you that you kind of didn't know until this documentary that helped make sense of other things to you associated with Kanye?
What's funny is I was thinking right before we started this is one thing I didn't know before I watched the 3rd part, and maybe this is a spoiler alert, but this wasn't Kanye's documentary.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
But that's a double spoiler alert, because it's a spoiler alert for people that I get it that may haven't seen the documentary, but also really that's part of the punchline to this whole series.
That's a maybe we are starting with the end, obviously, but that's one of the most beautiful parts about it to me, right? Mm-hmm. Is especially when you watch the first 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. This is the genius, pun intended, of Cootie and Chike, right? Mm-hmm. They held it. You know what I mean? It would appear that it's Kanye's. The world would assume that it's Kanye's. It came at a perfect time for it to be Kanye's. Mm-hmm. Like it's his rollout. It's a part of everything that he's doing. But it's not. It was just well timed by Cootie and Chike, and the way they put it together, you wouldn't know that until you got about halfway through the third episode. Mm-hmm. To me, that was one of the most revealing things about it to me, and about Kanye in essence, that he allowed that.
Right, that he allowed it, yeah, and really it's just almost the opposite. They used everything that was going on around him as a rollout for their documentary.
They did. They absolutely did. And he allowed that.
And he allowed it, which is dope. Yeah. And
he allowed it.
Yeah, and you got hints of it, but I agree. You don't know really until the 3rd part, but you get hints of it because I'm like, so I'll start with a little bit of haterade.
Okay.
Not too much, but I'm like, yo, why do you keep telling me about stuff about you? I don't care about the stuff. It was so funny because I know, I can be annoying. I'm like, yo, I was getting tight. Like, bro, I don't care anything about you. This is supposed to be about Kanye. I'm not necessarily concerned about when he went on tour and didn't take you with him and you went back home, your parents came to New York, I'm like,
yeah, but I understand. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, right. See, this is a little hate. I'm just saying.
I feel you.
Right, but it makes sense when it starts coming together. Like, oh, I see what's going on here now.
Yeah, And you would have to, okay, we didn't expect it, but we probably should have, based on how what we know of Kanye. Right. You know what I mean? There's no way in hell that the person that held that camera at College Dropout could have sustained all of that and been there the entire time.
Right.
It's just not possible. You see what I'm saying? Like, nobody has been there the entire time. It's been people come and go. You know what I'm saying? Some people, Rhyme Fest have even come and gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was there before Cootie and Chike. You know?
Right.
So it makes sense that there has to be what happens in this gap and how do you explain it? How do you deal with it? So for it to be there wasn't so unexpected the way it was presented, based on the relationship between him and Kanye. You know what I'm saying? That I think it was necessary. I didn't necessarily know it was going to be there, and I think I think that might have been the off-putting thing. So I don't think it was hate. You know what I mean? I just don't think.
Yeah, and I'm being funny.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like, you know, one of my little things.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this ain't what we here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, this ain't what we here for. But it kind of is, because without him, there isn't this doc.
Right.
So he is as important in the telling of this story.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, excuse me, I didn't cut all my devices. Got noise in the background.
Well, you know, I definitely agree with that. He definitely plays an intricate part to weaving it up, the whole documentary together and making sense.
Yeah, and another thing,
like you said, it fills in some gaps of like what was going on in between these pockets of time as people are rotating in and out and through his ascension.
Right. You know what it does also? This is something that you don't necessarily get in a documentary a lot of times. You get it in movies, like suspense movies, or, you know what I mean? Something like Usual Suspects, where you can watch it again because you realize at the end there was a perspective that you could have been watching it through.
The whole time.
The whole time.
Watch it again from that perspective. Yeah.
So now we can go back and literally watch it through Cootie's perspective, because what we was watching was Kanye. Like everybody else was in the world.
Right. And what we wanted it to be.
And what we wanted, and what we, you know what I'm saying? What we expected at least.
Expected, right.
You know, but because we know there's a completely, we realized that narrative late, but it was probably there the whole time because those two men are great storytellers, Cootie and Chike.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I imagine to go back and watch all 3 episodes back to back through Cootie and Chike's, through Cootie's eyes especially. Because he kept saying, I always knew this guy was going to be a star. I knew this. You see what I'm saying? I was in this situation. Not to be selfish, but he was the lens. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I'm going to enjoy watching it again from that perspective.
Yeah, and that's kind of beautiful. That's kind of beautiful that you make the 2 point, the literal and figurative points, because it's like that's very unique. You know, that the documentary is seen through the actual eyes of the videographer,
right? Of the documenter,
right?
Usually, you only get the documentee,
right? Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so this is genius on a few levels, and I didn't, and I promise you, this is the beauty of Conversate for a Few too, because these are things that we've literally just finished watching it.
Yeah,
less than an hour ago. Yeah. Me less than an hour ago. You less than 20 minutes ago.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So these perspectives ain't something that we had time to think about or went and wrote down or something. It's a true conversation. This is what art brings about, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna jump right to the meat. Pause.
Man, it's so much. But
yeah, pause. But Kanye's not okay. Kanye's not okay, bro. And you can see through the way his friends know it, the ones that care about him know it. You know what I mean? The way Cootie was trying to communicate with his dad, with Kanye's dad. You see what I'm saying? The way Cootie and Common spoke when Cootie was in Wyoming. It was coded to not set Kanye off, but it was a check on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was several times where, you know what I'm saying, Cootie went to check on him. You know what I mean? Times where you could tell he didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
So those things don't just go away. You know what I mean? Like that illness doesn't just go away. You have to deal with it. You have to get help. And I don't know. I feel like I will say this: the doc left me a little bit more afraid for Ye than I was before the doc.
That's interesting.
That's a fact. Like he ain't, and there's people around him. And you could even see that when he's saying those rhymes and putting songs together at the end, the people is going crazy. He ain't even saying nothing.
Oh yeah. That is.
So that's even more scary. That there's people around him. Even Rhymefest at the end was saying something was hot that he wasn't even saying words.
I know what you're talking about. I know the part. Yeah, it was Rhymefest sitting on the ground, and yeah.
I mean, Kanye is such an artist that version didn't make it to the light of day. That song is out. It's on Donda, and it's beautiful. You know what I mean? And it's several iterations of it on YouTube. So of course he iterates and he works. You know what I mean? Maybe they were just saying the idea is hot, but
right. I think it's just rambling ideas.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't work that way.
No.
You know what I mean? So we didn't say it was hot until it was. You know what I mean? We working with something, we cooking, but we ain't finna go. You know what I mean? Like this is not how we work. So it's off-putting to me. But I'm sorry, I feel like I cut you off.
No, nothing. No, I agree with what you're saying, man, and it's crazy because I don't want to go off like super deep into a mental, you know what I mean, a mental health episode, but like the joint is kind of it's definitely a catch-22. It's like cancer. Right? Radiation can cause cancer, but chemotherapy is radiation, which they try to use to remove the cancer.
Right.
So it's like that I'm working in the field with people that heavy in meds, right? Because I'm working with all types of special needs, generally students with autism and other types of things, ADHD, ADD, and they all types of medicine. And I've seen them, and the medicine, and sometimes it can help and be good. And I've seen like them pick up weight because they may have to take medicine where it causes them to eat more. Or I've seen a lot of times too where it kills the appetite, and my students lose crazy weight, right? But one thing for sure, say that you knew them before they got on the medication, whether it kind of helps out the illness or not, one thing for sure, it changes them. They are no longer the same person. And like that is one thing that you can clearly see. Not only is he struggling with his own, and I want to ask you, where do you think we first start seeing spurts of the mental illness? Do you think it was there the whole time, and then it became triggered by, I don't know, his mom passing, or was it before then? But that's just a question I wanted to ask you. When did we really, the public, start seeing it? But my point being is the Kanye, and just for general sense, the old Kanye, you'll never see that again. You'll never see the old Kanye again. And what I mean by that is the young man with fresh eyes, ambitious to get in the industry, that ran, that ran blocks to go play beats for who was that before they left? He ain't have money for the cab, so he said he ran down the street.
Right.
That individual, you'll never get.
He's already lived.
Right.
The beautiful thing is we got to experience it though.
Right.
So for us to be asking for him to give us that energy on records is a little bit Not
Oh
only
yeah, yeah.
selfish,
And I'm
it's
not
ridiculous. I know you're not.
right, right.
I know.
Oh,
I know
okay.
you. I know you're not. I know you're not. I know you're not.
Okay.
But I'm just kind of
I got you.
generalizing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because that pressure is on him too. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
it
that's
is.
where you get the old Kanye records from,
Mm-hmm.
and people
Mm-hmm.
not letting him. He's. To answer your question, when do I think we first saw it? I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time I saw Kanye on camera rapping, I didn't necessarily think something was wrong, but I thought he was so anxious.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I thought he was. It seemed like he was bubbling over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like early Kanye, like if you put a camera on him, it seemed like he was bubbling over, and and I kind of maybe attributed it to nervousness or being so hungry that you just, you know what I mean? And it just comes out in different ways in different people. Now looking at it, I see that it could be a little bit of that, but it also could be anxiety. Mm-hmm. You know, it knowingly putting yourself into harm's way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he knows how great he is, but he also, I think he's you don't write the lyrics Kanye wrote without being self-aware.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So he was self-aware to know how. He's self-aware to know what he was dealing with.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like we saw it early. You know, I kind of feel like, you know, there is a fearlessness that he had, but imagine being fearless and nervous at the same time.
Yeah,
that don't necessarily, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That don't necessarily equate. So what are we looking at? Are we looking at nervousness? Or are we looking at anxiety?
Right.
Because he's obviously fearless.
Right, right.
He stood up there and said George Bush don't care about black people, and he might have looked his most nervous in that situation. He didn't necessarily look nervous at all.
Yeah, yeah. I feel you.
You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to balance. But if you go back to earlier videos, you know what I'm saying, with him, they interviewing him talking about him. You know what I mean? He seems like he's on the edge at all times.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you can and something could push him. And you know, when his mother asked him, I feel like I'm ranting, but when his mother asked him to get on stage and answer 3 questions.
Hold on, let me stop you there.
Mm-hmm.
Right when he started answering the first question, he started 5 sentences before it didn't complete none of those 5 before he actually gave a full sentence. I said, this man has started 4 different sentences. He ain't finished one yet. Mm-hmm. He's on 1,000.
His mind is moving fast, bro.
Yes.
Fast.
Yes. And then off the time when he started to speak, it don't come out right. This is why we tried to tell him years ago we need to be his translator team.
Mm-hmm. And he said that.
And he did say it.
Yeah, he didn't say us, but he said he needed one. Like, and when I heard him say that, I was like, see.
Yeah.
Actually, the thought that went through my head is conversate for a few started with that thought. Mm-hmm. And he expressed it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He expressed it, and conversate for a few started. If y'all don't know, conversate for a few started with a 2 or 3 hour conversation after Kanye went on his rant on Sway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Me and you got on the phone, and I had the idea, and I was like, after that conversation on the phone, I was like, yo, this the podcast partner right here. It's the co-host. This is what it is. And you was like, I'm with it. So, but the gist of that conversation was he needs to whisper into someone's ear what he's thinking and let them express his thoughts versus him unloading on the public.
Right. You know what the funny thing is? If he would have done the stuff that he had did in public, right? His rants that he did in public. If he had done those public statements the way he did his music, it wouldn't have had the backlash. And what I mean by that is he don't just go in and record and whatever he say the first time out, that's the final product.
That's right.
So he knows how to get the, you know what I mean, the best out of what is being expressed verbally. He just don't think to do it when he's talking or in interviews, but he knows to do that in music. You know what I mean?
Kanye would have been one of those perfect artists to more Prince like to give very, very, very few interviews, to speak not a lot at all, but be extremely expressive in his music. Kanye was extremely expressive in his music, but he obviously could have been more expressive, because when he spoke about things that necessarily wasn't in the music. Right. You know? Right. Well, what happened is he'd end up speaking, and the next album would be about what he spoke about.
Yeah. But that's a good point that you use Prince, because he didn't do a lot, but when he did them, they were good, and they were more they were more thought out. Like I'm thinking of some of Prince's last interviews, and
every time Prince spoke, it was calculated.
Yeah.
Every time he spoke, it was calculated.
But if you could, so I'm saying that to say he needed a limit, like Kanye need a limit to public speaking.
Yeah, definitely does. But who's gonna do that now? Like, you know what I mean? That's a wrap now.
That's far gone.
Yeah, it's over for that.
Yeah, it's far gone.
I lost my car mix, but I didn't mean to start the podcast with gloom and doom off the Jeen-Yuhs joint, but you know what I mean. It was just interesting. It was interesting to see how much of it he allowed in. You know, like how much of it. But I imagine he didn't, like, none of it was untrue.
Yeah.
Another nod to Cootie and Chike. Did you peep how the camera kept going off once he established that he couldn't film it when Kanye was going into you know what I'm saying, when he was going off the deep end while he was talking? He was like, "Oh, I wouldn't film that." And then every time it started happening, he didn't even necessarily mention that Kanye was going off the deep end. You just see the camera cut off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, there's some art in here, buddy.
Yeah.
This is good, because he's not saying it no more, but he established it, and that's what kind of one of those things. It never stopped happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it never stopped happening. So,
yeah.
I got a hot take.
Okay, let's hear it.
I take back my Jesus is King take. I take it back. I was wrong. That shit's not trash at all. At all.
So
it may be as good as Donda.
Okay. So being that I saw the documentary, particularly part 3, I know why you saying that.
Why?
Because of some of what is shown in there, like musically, like you. I think you're saying it because No. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong.
No.
I'm just saying I understand. Well, I think I understand why you said. But my thing is, my take say I think musically it may have been just as beautiful as Donda, but as an overall project, to me, I still don't like the album. But I'm saying musically, it may be as beautifully arranged and sonically sounding as good as Donda.
So why wouldn't you like the album as much as you do Donda?
The content, lyrics, delivery, like I don't like the actual songs. The execution.
The doc didn't have anything to do with my take. I felt this way before.
Interesting.
Yeah, I felt this way before the doc came out. I felt this way before the doc came out. Like,
that's interesting.
Yeah, matter of fact, I felt this way probably 2 or 3 weeks after Donda came out.
You know what's funny? This is you know how conversation's real, because we really be talking about stuff that be really going on between us.
Yeah.
I started to blast you the other day in the text thread with shout out to Faith,
Yeah.
But yo, in the text thread when you was talking about the stem player, you was like, yeah, I had to remove Jesus is King.
I did.
And put something on. I was about to text like, yo, the fuck was that up there for?
Cause I actually spend more time listening to that. They're both on the stem player.
Yeah. I figured.
I definitely spend more time listening to songs from Jesus is King than I do Donda. I mean, way more. Matter of fact, 90%.
How did this happen?
Because them shits is motherfucking better, dog. Them shits is hotter. When you play them shits side by side, like, we just didn't fucking get it. And we refused to get it. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna front. Like, we shitted on it. We got a podcast episode called Jesus is King, Kanye is not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we shitted on that album. Bro, we missed it. I ain't gonna front. We missed it. We just didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. We didn't believe Kanye. You know what I mean? We just didn't believe him.
So, but see, that wasn't even really a thing because he could have lied and still made fire.
You can't just make fire gospel music if motherfuckers don't believe you. That's not how that works.
No. You can still no. That's not true.
It's
you
not
can
how
make
it works.
good music. It's not whether I believe you that makes it good.
It's not how it works. It's not how gospel music works, bro. That's not
what
how
I'm saying
it works.
is, if I don't believe what you're saying out of your mouth, like or the Kirk Franklin, I don't know whether I believe him or not. That doesn't have anything to do with who's playing the keys or who's singing.
I understand. I get all of that. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, bro. But I'm telling you, the fact that we didn't buy where he was coming from, you know how that is in art. If you buy where the artist is coming from, it impacts how you take the art. That's any hip hop.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's any hip hop.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if the more authentic the artist, the more you appreciate the art.
Right.
We didn't buy where he was coming from.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We didn't buy it.
We was on the fence about it. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. We was like, we don't know.
Right, but if you don't, but with this type of music, you give a nigga the benefit of the doubt. You basically listening to it like a rap album. If you only give him the benefit of the doubt, you're not listening to him like he a gospel artist, right?
Yeah.
Then you listening to it what rap is, and it's still inauthentic to you. You haven't accepted the authenticity of it. Period.
Yeah.
So it's gonna lack something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For you. Yeah. So now
but for me, and you know me, this album will always be a hard sell for me, even if I believe them, because I'm just not I'm not in the gospel.
I understand it. Now, what I would like for you to do is make a playlist and mix up Donda 2, mix up Donda 1, and mix up Jesus is King, and just put it on shuffle.
Yeah,
and tell me
something.
And tell me which ones. And tell me which one. And just write down the top 5. And I guarantee you 3 of them shits is gonna come off Jesus is King.
Okay.
Like that. Them shits is fire. And it happened because they ended up in that motherfucking stem player. You know what I mean? So it wasn't a couple weeks after the album came out. That's a lie. It was a couple months after that. I misspoke. When I got the stem player and I listened to it, and I mean, when you go from one to other, you just skipping through, and you like, wait a minute, wait, that shit fire. Wait, I don't stop and listen to this much of Donda. It's like 3 on that motherfucker that I might listen to. Out of that, I'm not listening to more of that. It was great, but I gotta be in the mood. But some of that Jesus is King, when I stop on it, I'm finna listen to that shit. That's just hot. It's just a hot take.
Yeah. This is definitely a hot take. This defines hot take.
Hot take.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is, and we just have to. Well, I feel like I have to say this just so people know. If say I don't know some random. Not even random. Some other artists drop that may not be of the stature of Kanye, right? And I may give my take on the album, and I'll be like, nah, that joint trash. Or I don't like it. It's not good, right? That's different from when I'm saying something of Kanye. If I say something, an album of his is not trash because I don't like Jesus. It's not for me, right? That's different. When his trash is better than.
Oh, I understand. I know you're not saying. Neither one of us was saying it was Okay,
yeah.
it was really okay.
I
People
just
gonna have
thought
to
I
go
had
back
throw
to
that
you.
out there.
It's good you did though, because people don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody cut this on the first time and be like, okay, them niggas don't know what they talking about. If they thought Jesus Cream was trash the first time they heard it, we trashed it. We didn't say it was trash. You see what I'm saying? We trashed it, but we didn't say it was trash. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We thought it was better than Nas' album with Kanye.
Yeah, we did. That's a fact.
You know what I mean? So it ain't like, you know, it was relative to what Kanye was doing.
Right, exactly. That's my point. Right, yeah.
Now, given that, relative to what Kanye was doing before, no. Relative to what Kanye did then and going forward, look at it that way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It may be the college dropout of his gospel albums.
I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It may be the college dropout of his gospel albums. You know, it's like...
Right. And just to take a small, which really isn't a detour, but you mentioned it earlier, I have not listened to Donda 2. Do you like it?
Nah. But I didn't like Jesus is King either. So. I don't even trust. I don't even trust myself.
I can't trust myself.
I didn't like 808s of Heartbreak. I didn't like Jesus is King. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But you know, music is supposed to grow on you. You're supposed to gain perspective. You're supposed to. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to. You're not supposed to like it as soon as you hear it every time. That's why I ended up liking Yeezus the first time I heard it. You know what I mean? So the first time I heard, like, listening to Donda, I don't necessarily, in all honesty, the songs that I love on there, Kanye ain't really on them. Like the Migos joint, that shit fire. You know what I mean? It's another joint, somebody else, I can't even remember who it was, that's fire, but it's like it's not his song. Really. It's a Future joint. It's basically a Future song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think this is the real joint though. I think it's gonna change.
Right.
So I ain't even really judging it yet, to be honest with you.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, we went to the listening party for it, right? Well, we didn't go to that actual place. We went to the theaters and viewed the listening party, right? But that's what you notice. Like the first few things that he performed that was supposed to be Donda, like Pusha T performed, right? Diet Coke. That's on Push album. That's not his.
Right.
Game performed Easy. That ain't Kanye.
Right.
That's Games. Then and even the Migos songs, I'm like, I think that's on a new Migos project. I don't think that's his. Like, and then the Future or the 2 Chainz.
And the you mean the Fabio joint?
Yeah.
The Fabio joint is on his album.
It is, because I thought that was Fabio.
That's definitely, I did too. I thought it was Fabio's song too. It's definitely on Donda 2. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's on there. So, because I remember we was at the list at watching the listening party, and we were both like, that ain't even his song.
Right.
But nah, we was wrong. But you know how it could be on both albums.
Yeah, both people's right.
But which would be smart, especially in streaming. It would make tons of sense to do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But I hold judgment about Donda 2 because I don't think what I heard is
the final product.
I don't. I think especially with that stem player, I think he's gonna continue to change it and then make you run back to it and update your stem player and get new versions and this kind of thing. I think that album's gonna grow. So I definitely don't think that was it.
Okay. How many tracks is up there now?
Oh, maybe 16.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, 16, I think. Don't get me twisted though. It's 12 to 16, which is like a 4-song gap. It's 12 to 16 if my memory serves me correctly, but there's nothing for me to look at other than what I see on the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I haven't really paid enough attention to looking at the playlist, you know what I mean? Because I play it from the stem player.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nerd shit.
Yeah. So what I'm just going somewhere, right now I just want to go with something more positive.
Yeah.
Is one of my favorite scenes is when he was like when Cootie, of course, is narrating. He's talking about how Kanye felt like he needed to rap for Jay-Z to get Jay approval.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was rapping, I got to know, I got to go. When he did that, and then got Jay, to kind of agree, like, okay, you got something there. And then he had him go in the booth and spit it. Then told him, nah, like
spit it like you did it out here.
Yeah. Like that was dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was dope, but it was crazy because you hear Jay-Z say, good thing he said something, or he wouldn't have been on this track. Closed mouth don't get fed.
That's right. So the way Kanye approached things was the reason Kanye got on. If he wasn't as dogged about being in people's face like he was Charlene in The Office, he'd have never got his deal.
Right.
He had to do that shit. And he had to do it. He had to go all the way to the top to get that. So yeah, I mean, it worked. Yeah, being that level of intense. Some may say it's a jerk. Some people are gonna call it annoying. You know what I mean? Whatever you gonna call it, hey, you just got to be that sometimes, especially when you know you got it.
Right, and one thing that's undeniable was work ethic.
Facts.
That's undeniable.
You wasn't gonna work. You wasn't gonna outwork him.
Nah.
You wasn't gonna outwork him, yo, and you still not gonna outwork him. Yeah. That's the crazy thing. You still not outworking Kanye. That's because he's doing what he want to do. You know what I mean? And he always was. He just was trying to get to a point where he was doing it on a higher level. Right. You know what I mean? That's you know. So yeah, go ahead.
No. That was it, man. Well, I mean, just one of the highlights for me.
Yeah, you know what I hate about though? Like, I hate they blew through Dark Twisted Fantasy on here.
Yo.
I hate
I felt the same way, man.
Yeah, I hate they blew through Dark Twisted. But I mean, he wasn't there. They didn't blow through it.
Yeah, that's true. That's when, the kind of breakaway.
Yeah, he wasn't there for like 6 to 8 years. Right. You know what I mean? It was a long time. He was 6 years, right? It was a long time when he wasn't there, so they didn't blow through it.
Yeah, they just wasn't there to capture it and experience with him like the other times.
That's right.
But I would love this. That'll be a hell of a documentary.
Yeah, that's the footage I want. Yeah. but you know what is funny though? I want it from a musical perspective. All the stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about.
Almost everything that we've talked about thus far hadn't been musical.
Oh, nah, not at all. Right.
The only thing that's been musical is the fact that he got in front of Jay-Z. Everything else has been, Life and Times, the documentary, So I think it might have been really scary to have Cootie there during the Dark Twisted Fantasy era.
Might have been.
Like the music part, if all we was watching was the music parts, I think we could enjoy it. But I don't know if we'd have been able to really enjoy watching a documentary about that part of his life, that era.
Yeah. No, I agree. Oh, we wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean. We just wanted to hear the beautiful music that came out of that.
That's
era.
all. That's all. I mean, not to say we wouldn't have cared, but it would have been hard to watch.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? It would have been hard to watch. It would have been like, it's funny though. It's like Kanye sent him away when he knew shit was about to get crazy. You know what I mean? It's like he got sent away when he knew shit was getting ready to go nuts. Like, okay, all right, we don't need no camera on this part. We finna go too far. And then shit went nuts, and he came back. He called him back. You know what I mean? It just don't seem like them cameras were supposed to be there.
Yeah. That, was that's a good way to look at it.
I guess that's what I'm saying. It don't seem like that was a period in time where them cameras were supposed to be there. Imagine what they would have had to cut. It don't seem like they
damn near everything probably.
Right. They had to figure out what to take out based on what they gave us this time. You see what I'm saying? They had so much footage, they had to figure out what they was not gonna use.
Right, 7.5 hours.
Right. Well, shit, that's what the doc ended up being. Right?
Exactly, because
no, the doc ended up being
so
3.
Today was an hour and a half.
Yeah, the doc ended up being about 3.
The first episode was 45 minutes or 42 minutes. So I think it ended up
being about 3.
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah,
3.5.
But I mean, just going with the point. Yeah, they had what they had to remove just for this. I couldn't imagine all that they would have to sift through and remove during that time. Because stuff was getting crazy during that time. I mean, it wouldn't even be no need to put anything out because you probably gonna have to take out most of it anyway. It wouldn't even be worth it, kind of.
It would make him look like a monster, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not what was intended here. What was intended was to show the rise and the dealings of, you know what I mean? Well, really, what was shown is the rise and the wherewithal of somebody to put a camera on it. Somebody to notice Jeen-Yuhs and be like, I'm finna put a camera on this shit until he tell me not to. You know what I mean? And not ask for no bread. Because you know he didn't get paid for nothing.
Oh no,
Did you know that? Yeah, no, he didn't ask for any. I mean, he didn't ask for any bread for the documentary footage, right? And they didn't get paid for. Well, they got money for Through the Wire and Jesus Walks, but they paid the crew. Like Cootie and Chike didn't make any money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, they got paid enough to make sure everybody else was taken care of, but that's why you can put a doc like this out on it. You know what I mean? If he'd accepted money from Kanye back then, Kanye owned this footage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kanye don't own what we saw.
Right.
You know, he had right of refusal. You know what I mean? First right of refusal to say, I want to, you know what I mean, cut this out. I need you could leave that in. But obviously, it don't seem like it seemed like he trusted him. It don't seem like he took for what they showed. I mean, I don't imagine what they wouldn't have shown.
Right.
You know,
especially for that time. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about they was giving old girl hell, man. Shari Bryant. You know, when he took Jesus Walks into this Rockefeller offices and was trying to, you know, get her to listen to it and all that good stuff. And people was like, you know, people came down on her online. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah,
know
they
that.
was giving her hell, bro, to the point where like Wayno and other old school Rockefeller people.
No, I did. I heard somebody brought that up on this show. Somebody did bring that up.
Yeah, so acting like how could she not hear a hit? And I'm listening, and me personally, right? And I don't know whether people remember, but
I do.
But the version of Jesus Walk that he was playing in that studio was on the streets. And it wasn't nearly as good as the version that was on that album. The version that had Lauryn Hill on it as a sample sucked.
Well, you mean, are we talking about All Falls Down?
All Falls Down. Why the fuck do I keep saying Jesus Walks? Thank you.
Yeah.
This is why I got a dope co-host. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, All Falls Down. Like, bro.
The first time I ever heard that it was Lauryn Hill.
And it didn't sound good.
Well, I liked it.
Bro. When I heard Selena Johnson singing it, I was so happy. I was like, this ain't it. Imagine, okay, on some real hip hop shit, yes, it was good.
Yeah. We
talking hit record. The way Lauren's vocal sat in that pocket was off. And it wasn't saying right. It was you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was off. On some hip hop shit, yes, we was gonna accept it.
Yeah.
But when Selena Johnson came through and stacked them vocals and did the runs and did them the right way,
it sounded a lot better.
It took that song through the roof, bro. So what Shari Bryant was listening to in that office is not what we heard. And if people calling her crazy for not hearing it, couldn't hear that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but do you think if he would have had that version with the album version, do you think that she would have had a different response at that time?
No, because it wasn't her fucking job.
That's what I was gonna say. It wasn't her job. Whether it was great or not, That's just not what her focus was.
Yeah, it wasn't her job.
But I think he was just doing what he wanted to do, which is I'm going to talk that. I mean, that's his attitude. I'm gonna let everybody in the building know I'm the greatest. You know what I mean? That's him. He gonna do that. He gonna go rap to everybody on any floor.
Because one person may hear it and think you have a mega hit and run to Dame and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing about music that people don't understand, especially from that era, right? Trying to get into the game from that era. This is conversations me and Dallas and AK had a lot of times, man. You could be as strategic and as specific as you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. But that is still the equivalent of taking a shotgun and shooting that bitch into a dark room trying to hit a target. Mm-hmm. I don't give a damn how specific and how targeted especially back then. Now with the internet, you could be a little bit more strategic and a little bit more targeted and a little bit more, you know what I mean, strategic. You know, you can get on your game a little bit differently. Back then, you didn't know where your chance was coming from. You didn't know who was going to say yes. You didn't know who knew the person that was going to say yes. You know what I mean? So every time you went at a situation, it was literally like taking a shotgun, pointing it into a dark room, and pulling the trigger and hoping you hit something.
Right. And Kanye knew that. That's why when he was moving how he was moving, he was trying to make sure he left no stone unturned.
Everybody in this room knew I was here before I left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So if everybody in here had a chance to fuck with me, you know what I mean? And that makes sense. I respect that. It might have been annoying as hell, but I definitely respect it. You know what I mean? And another thing that happens is it's basically like walking around planting seeds, like throwing seeds over your shoulder while you walk. You just gotta keep going though, but you got seeds, you throwing them over your shoulder. You don't know what's popping up behind you. Might be weeds, you know what I'm saying? It might be a rose, it might be a tulip, it might be an oak. You don't know what it is, but you know what I mean? You just planting, you know? And hopefully something bear fruit. And that's another thing he was doing, you know, and it did.
And it did.
And it did, you know. Man. It's funny, man. After watching all three, I have far less conversation about the music than I thought I would. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes perfect sense.
You know what I mean? Like far less, because it wasn't about the music,
right?
You know, it was about a lot more than that. You know, it was about a lot more than that. I tell you what, though, one thing it does let you know is it ain't nothing fake about Kanye. If you think he putting on at any point, he stopped doing that a long time ago. You know what I mean? I think like it says in the doc, there was a point where he wanted Cootie to, but he was like, yo, we can't put this out. Where Cootie thought the you know what I'm saying, like after College Dropout had popped. You see what I'm saying? He thought he was like, okay, we went from nobody to superstar. We got the documentary. And at that point, Kanye was like, nah, I don't want to show the world who I am yet. Yeah. Because at that point, he knew he was going to put on a character. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that fit Kanye well. I think it helped. I don't think it helped or hurt. I think it, not his career. You see what I'm saying? I think based on the art that Kanye was creating, he was gonna ascend the way he was ascending anyway because of his work ethic and his creativity, and he got his shot. And a person with that level of creativity, talent, and work ethic with a shot is gonna go. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think putting on the mask or the appearances that he was putting on, you know what I mean, were necessary to get to where he was trying to go.
Yeah. It wasn't.
It wasn't. So you either put that mask on because you because you feel like you need it, or you put the mask to go, or you put the mask on because you don't want people to see you while you on your way. Right?
Yeah, one of the two. Maybe just only want people to see him in one certain light.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Genius superstar.
And every other thing, and there's some insecurity shown in that documentary. You know what I mean? And I think he was still too close to it to expose it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I don't think he had made it far enough away from what were causing the insecurities to expose it at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because his insecurities based on trying to become a star and people not thinking he was worthy of it. At that point. You know what I mean? That was the main bundle. Of course, that's not all it was, because once he got all of that, we started seeing the other things that caused the insecurities.
Yeah.
That he had already rapped about in the music. You know what I mean? But they just started bearing fruit and making things crack and splinter. You know what I mean? So he just didn't. And now I guess it's at a point he know it's out there.
Yeah. Why
not just be? You know what I mean? We seen it all. What is it to hide? Now we can have sympathy for the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially after seeing this, I don't know whether it make you think that, but it's like I you know.
Man, one of the other things from the doc that was great, like some of the greatest parts or most impactful parts, is like the part with his mom, seeing their interaction, man.
Yeah.
And like, yo, you know your mom believe in you when she know all your bars, man. But your mom rap your songs with you, you know she got your back, man.
Fact, she rocking with you wholeheartedly. Yeah. And I'm talking about your bars from when you was like a kid too, like a little one. Not even no recent bars. She knew bars he had to sit there and think of to remember. And I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, she really believed in that boy.
Yeah, she did, man.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing though. Everybody don't know how to. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Yeah. Everybody don't. That was a gift even in itself. Everybody don't even know how to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that ain't something that every parent is born with, the ability to believe.
Right. And along with believing with them, along with helping him stay grounded, like, and giving him perspective based on the things that because she was sharing jewels with him.
Yeah, she's trying.
Yeah.
She's trying. Yeah, she's trying. She knew she was dealing with a monster. That's why she was so patient with that motherfucker, because she knew she was dealing with a monster.
She understood. Yeah. She understood her child.
Yeah, she clearly understood her child for sure. Yeah, for sure. Damn.
Because when you think back about it, remember one time when he was asking about something he said, and she was like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have said this or that. I'm just saying you could put it in this way. See, if he would listen then, 10 years down the line, he wouldn't have been saying stuff to you.
10 years down the line, he wouldn't have been having his dad on the phone saying, it ain't about what you said, man. You should have just got a speechwriter.
Yeah.
You just write a speech next time.
Yeah, he said next time write a speech. Oh man.
So
that was funny.
Yeah, it was.
That was and it's funny looking at the two approaches, what the mom had told him, right? And then looking at the dad perspective. Hey man. Next time write your speech.
I done heard enough of your shit at this point. Yeah, man, you've been doing this shit for 20 years. Next time, write a speech, nigga. You know what I mean? Stop going on TV talking about slaves without a speech. Stop talking about gonna be president without a speech. Stop going on stage at St. Pablo tour without a speech. You know what I mean? Like,
His career has been honestly a wild ride.
Man, listen. He is the unadulterated rock star in hip hop. There has been no other hip hop artist that has lived more of a rock star life than Kanye West. You know what I mean? Like Kanye done did it all, dog.
Yeah.
Kanye done did it all.
That's a fact.
All.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, damn, cause
Yeah.
he's still doing it. All to the point where he doing things that you didn't even think about doing, like
STEM player.
STEM player. I mean, first I'm gonna rent. We gonna do a listening party where Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to be able to see it where everybody can't fit in Madison Square Garden. So let's just live stream that shit all over the world via Apple. They'll pay me for it.
Right.
What? Oh, well, let's just make it a commercial for my new fashion line. Yeah. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, what, 8 years? Fast forward 8, 9 years? Well, I don't even know how many years it is. I don't know how. Fast forward, what, 5 years, 6 years? I don't know.
And Pablo?
Yeah, Pablo. Pablo's what, 17? Nah, 16, 14, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fast forward some years. And you got this man doing Donda releases with the full, you know what I mean? Like he's just expanded the theme.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Continually. Come on, man. It's some next level. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you like it or not, like I can still find value in the music. You know what I mean? Some of it. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I did see in there? There was a little peek of something I saw. They were working on late registration.
Yeah, yeah.
And they showed him in the studio with John Bryan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And John Bryan asked somebody in the booth to redo something in one little part and do it a certain way. And Kanye looked up. He was like, "Yeah, that's real production right here." and then kind of sat down and was like, you know what I mean? Got back in his zone. I was like, yeah. He realized there's some other geniuses out this motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he allowed himself though to step into a whole new world. You know what I mean? Because John Bryan, the reason I know about John Bryan, when I saw that John Bryan was going to be a part of the next Kanye album, I knew for a fact that I was going to like it better than I did the first one. You know what I mean? Because John Bryan, nerd shit, he did the first Fiona Apple album.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sick. And
Yeah.
he brought that same moody string element to late registration. But it's grand, but it's moody and stringy and big. You know what I mean? Poof, and dark. Man, he made it. Poof. So I think that gave me a glimpse into Kanye expanding. That was the first time I think he, you know, the way he works now. There was a glimpse into the way he works now.
Got you. Mm-hmm.
It was the Quincy Jones way of working.
Got
You know what I mean? Where I there's a rhythm that I know works, and because I produce, I make sure this rhythm gets to the world. But I maximize it by bringing it to John Bryan and make sure he puts the perfect string arrangement on it, and then allowing, you know what I'm saying, John Legend to add whatever piano accents that need, you know what I mean, that are needed. You know, whatever, you know, so I ain't necessarily sitting down making beats.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm producing classics. Even though I am making beats too, you know. But so I think that gave me a glimpse. I think that seeing that is where that might have started.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
I think those are kind of the musical things that I picked up from it, you know.
Yeah.
But overall, it was amazing, bro.
Yeah, it was. Overall, it's amazing.
It was amazing. You watched the first episode, kind of knowing a lot of that information.
Yeah.
But just getting to see it.
Getting to see it is a different experience.
It's a different experience. You know what I mean? I don't know, how would you describe the second one? You know what? The second one gave me a glimpse into how fast it must have seemed from the inside out.
That things were happening.
Yes, because from the outside in, it didn't seem as fast.
Mm-hmm.
Did it seem as fast to you? Like,
it didn't.
It felt natural because it was Rockefeller. It was, you know what I mean? It was, so it didn't seem like, but being from where they were, seeing how hard it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It must have seemed like once it started happening, once it went from, it was struggle. Damn. All right, we got a deal. No budget. Damn. You know what I mean? Like, then it's this one piece of kindling that you throw in the fire, and poof,
everything ignited, and
it never goes backwards, bro.
Yeah. So if you are a part of that's happening, it's probably moving super fast, and
it never goes backwards, and you gotta understand, like something moving super fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's something that to be said. If you start me off super fast, right? It's exhilarating. I'm going, but I'm expecting it to stop at some point, so then I can reflect on how fast this shit is moving. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That shit went super fast, and it ain't stopped yet.
Right, and you know that's such a great point. And even when you talk about having sympathy, most of us don't know it. Well, I don't know any of us that know what that is like. I don't know it to be working for something, and then you get it. But everything in your life, everything is moving so fast. You don't really have time to stop and reflect because you're on to the next thing and doing this and doing that. Like, we don't really know mentally. And if a person does have an illness, you don't know the toll that all of that is taking.
Exactly. And then while you're warp speeding through life is happening.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Shit's happening. Your mom is passing. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Whatever the hell. I mean, the worst of life, the best of life, life is happening. And you going through this joint warp speed. And you've been at warp speed for 5-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, you begged for warp speed.
That's all you ever wanted?
That's all you ever wanted. Had no idea what you was asking for.
Nope.
You have no idea what you asking for, bro.
Insane.
Yeah. I asked one of my artists that one time, man, and when I asked him that, I believe I might have scared the shit out of him we had it was actually the first podcast I ever recorded.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Character.
Yep. And I asked him, you know what I mean, and he said, he was like, I never really thought about that. We kind of went on with the podcast, it scared me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it ain't nothing worth having if your dreams don't scare the shit out you should just throw them bitches away and get some more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they should make your heart beat a little bit fast. They should make you nervous. You know what I mean? Like a little bit like, ooh.
Right.
That's how it should feel. So,
absolutely.
When I say scared the shit out of them, I just mean put some perspective on what we was, on what we about to undertake.
Yeah, well, now the parts, like the musical parts, like the musical takeaways, right?
Yeah. Because
there's not a lot of them, right? But what did you think about, and I think this was second episode, could be first, but I had meant to ask for bringing this up early on. What did you think about when he played the joints for Scarface? And Scarface go to the next music. Then he had a pen out, and then he was like, he was going to write to something. Then it left, and he never came back.
It didn't bug me. It didn't bug me out that much. I put it to you this way. With music, you kind of gotta manifest shit and force shit to happen. You gotta sell a situation. Scarface don't know what beat he coming in to rap on. You know what I mean? He don't know what zone you want him to be in. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna tell you the truth. It was. Unless the artist got a song ready, right?
Yeah.
You know, it take a while to get into a zone where me and you finna sit down and write the same song.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't nobody Scarface. How long did it take you to get me to write the song that we was in the studio together?
Not long.
I didn't take me long to write it. How long did it take me to get me to write it?
Oh yeah, that took time. That part took time.
It didn't take me long to write it, but it took me a while to get me to write it. You see what I'm saying? So it did surprise me that it didn't play out the way Kanye wanted it to. I'm glad he handled it well. You see what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know, man. I think Face passed up on the one he should have been on, though.
I agree. I was thinking that too.
Yeah, he definitely skipped the one he should have been on. The one he wanted to write to, but it's not the right beat.
Right.
It wasn't the right beat.
But you know what's funny? From the beginning, when Scarface walked in there with him, and Ye's telling him stuff, I knew he wasn't going to do nothing. I knew he wasn't recording nothing.
He wasn't there for that.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. It's got to be the right zone. He wasn't there for that. Mm-hmm. And he had too much autonomy. You see what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't there for that, and he could get up and leave. He wasn't just with you. Right. You see what I'm saying? Like, if he'd been riding with Ye, I mean, he would have had to call car service and just leave Ye ass, but he wasn't. You see what I'm saying? So it was a different situation. But I mean, I could imagine that happened quite a bit, bro. Shit, it happened to us. We got Loon to the studio when he listened to some joints. We was hoping we can get him to vibe a little bit. Next thing we know, that motherfucker gone.
It is just so funny. Like, it's just so funny, man.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think about it. We hadn't been thinking about Loon.
Yeah.
Loon had been the furthest thing. We had not considered Loon in years.
When you're producing at all.
At all. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not that Loon wasn't his, you know what I'm saying, dope or whatever, but obviously he was dope enough for us to want him on the music, because when I saw him, I called my man, was like, yo, Loon's standing over here, bro. And he was like, nigga, get off the phone and go talk to him. I was like, all right, nigga, damn. I ain't want to run up on the Loon, but thirsty nigga, same way Kanye with him. I went over at, you know what I mean? We was at Saks off 5th, Morrisville Mall, out by the airport.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yep. You know what I mean? I guess he was in and out of town, whatever. So I went over and hollered at him, told him, you know what I'm saying, Writers Block Music Group, we got a studio downtown Raleigh. We'd like for you to come through, whatever. He was like, yo, you got any music on you? I was like, nah, bro. He's like, you ain't strapped? And I'm like, nah, I mean, I work at a warehouse, bro. I just happen to be on lunch. You know what I mean? Spending my little money, you know what I mean? So I got on work boots, and I'm like, nah, nigga, I ain't strapped. I'm at work. He was like, man, you always got to be strapped, yo. Nigga trying to play me. He was right, but he was trying to play me, fair.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? We exchanged information or whatever, and he ended up coming by the lab. You know what I mean? Later on. And I didn't have much interaction with him there. I think Dallas did all of that. I was done. I did all I could do. I'm better at it now, but I ain't built for walking up talking to niggas, man. That ain't my shit.
Yeah.
I
feel that.
You know what I mean? But so yeah, that was my. But when I looked up, he was gone. Just like Scarface. That's the moral.
He's Scarface, y'all.
He Scarfaced us, bro. But hey, salute to Loon. He came through.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's big because most people, a lot won't even. I
remember him saying, "Man, ain't no bitches in that thing." Yo, like we had this studio, nigga. Like, but hey, some niggas do set a vibe, and that's not how we work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like we work. You working. Yeah, we working. We ain't in here to party. We working.
Right.
Like, right. But that's one thing I can't say about Ye too. When they was working, they was working.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been people around. It might have been women there, like girl. But I guarantee you, they ass was interested in hip hop. They wasn't there to be, you know what I mean, hollered at.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they serve some kind of purpose or function.
Right. Yeah. They got taste. They wasn't there to be hollered at. I mean, not to say you don't holler at girls with taste, but they not there for that.
Right, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? They part of the vibe, not part of the fun. Mm-hmm. You know, so
yeah.
ain't nothing wrong with that. But everybody in there seemed like they served a purpose, like you said, and that's how our studio was. And I noticed that about his situations when there's work going on. I think he like a lot of. He didn't. I never saw him working alone. You know what I mean? Like a camera on him and him in the room working.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Maybe
once.
we saw one or two shots of that, and it may have been the same one time. But like on the first doc, he's loading the beat or something like that, playing the beat. But even then, there are like
a couple people in the
around,
room.
right?
Yeah, that's, you see what I'm saying? Like it's somebody in that room.
Right, but you know what? That's smart. That's why he's successful.
It is.
Because he's not isolated in some room trying to do it all himself and getting no input and feedback from other people.
It is. It is smart. It is smart. It is smart. It is smart. They just can't be partying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like you said, I think the people that were there, like they
Right.
do something with music that he can at any given time. Hey, come do this, come do that. You know what I mean?
Or what you think, or be listening to a conversation and that inspire an idea because it's creative conversations happening in the room. You know, things like that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that. Yeah, man. Does this make you interested in what Kanye's got coming next? Like, as Kanye is an artist going forward.
Yo, man, I'm really no.
I knew you was gonna say that too. I knew the answer to that question as I was asking it. I was like, yeah.
Like
a stern no.
Nah. Like I don't. I'm always going. Whatever he puts out, I'm always going to listen to. Right.
Right.
I don't think he'll ever. I'm just not excited about anything else. Like I want to hear Donda 2, right?
Right.
And I'm hoping it's great. But I'm not, and I'm always check for Ye, but I'm not like excited. Like this, and this is going to sound crazy what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna stand on what I'm gonna stand on. Right now, I'm most excited about Boogie, formerly known as Boogie, West Side Boogie. I'm more excited about his sophomore album coming out that's about to drop, or Kendrick new album. Like I don't have that, and I know I'm never going to have that excitement again for a Ye project.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, like so it doesn't make me, and maybe from a production standpoint, him producing an album or something for someone, but in terms of just hearing him, no, and I don't, nah, man, no. I'm not too excited about that. And I really feel like between where he is now, right? Because we got a post-Ye. Really a post, kind of, I guess, post-St. Pablo Ye. When Ye starts going into other stuff, like when you mentioned with John Bryan. That Ye, I think I've heard what he's going to do, I guess. Like between Donda, Jesus King, and possibly, and what I've heard of Donda too. Okay, I see the wavelength he's on, and like I don't know if anything is going to be that refreshing. Like if you never did anything ever, like Jesus album, he had never done it, so that was something like new, different.
Whether you liked it or not.
Whether you liked it or not, right? Exactly. But like, I think this is the vibe that he's in. And I think he's going to stay and make music, like, because the stuff that we was listening to at the listening party, whether his songs is going to be on the other person's album or not, well, even the stuff he did, like for the wife. Remember that song? It's just strictly about Kim that he did, and then he did a few joints I like, but it all could fit on Donda 1 if he wanted it to.
Well, yeah, but see, that's I was expecting that. Right?
Yeah.
Because
I guess that's my point.
Because it's an extension of it.
Yeah.
Now, when I got it, I don't. From a music side, just to have a conversation since we can talk about it. Donda versus Donda 2. Donda, even though it had like all these different rappers on it, it's pretty much a gospel album.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Donda 2 plays a lot less like a gospel album. It feels a lot less like a gospel album. It feels a lot less. It doesn't feel like Donda.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I understand what we were hearing at the listening thing. I heard it too. So I don't disagree with your takeaway from there, right? At all. Riding around listening to it in the car is like, it's a lot more aggressive.
Okay.
It's a lot more aggressive than Donda. In my opinion. That's the way I feel about it. Donda felt open and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is darker.
Okay.
This is definitely he's in a different space. It's gonna sound real. The first one, it sounded like he might have thought he had a chance to get his family back. On this one right there, he like, fuck it, bro. Do I look happy to you? Do I look happy? Do I look happy to you? Like, that's the kind of songs you get on this shit. Like, that was gonna hit no shit like that on Donda. Like, the hook is, do I look happy? Do I look happy to you? Like, that's the hook. Like, this is some aggressive shit. It's really, it's not Yeezus at all, but it's Yeezus' attitude with Donda's flair.
Got it.
That's the way it feels.
Got it. Like, in the beat, okay. And that's a good question. I'm glad you asked me that. And it's so funny. Sometimes we can think of where we think an artist may go next. Like, after this, I don't even know what he would do.
That's the catch. With Ye, we need to understand we've always gotten albums based on where he was in life.
Right.
He's not an artist that he had a sound coming in and he rode that wave because he got popping with it, but that wasn't like that soul sound wasn't what, you know what I mean? That was just a wave he rode into stardom.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But he's gonna choose he's gonna grow and learn music and experience new music and feel and understand how to incorporate that. You see what I'm saying? And as he does that, as he's living, what drifts into his life is what he attracts. So it's what he's going through is what he's attracting. You see what I mean? So that's what's gonna come out in the music. So whatever he's going through next during this wild ass stage that he's in right now, he's gonna attract sample source. And we're gonna get it. So we don't know what it's gonna do. He may realize that he could reinterpret Dark Twisted Fantasy. You see what I'm saying? He may wake up and realize, you know what? I don't think that was my best piece of music because I wasn't saying anything. I could use that style and say way more than I can the style that I'm using now. And we get a Dark Twisted gospel album. What?
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I would be.
You see what I'm saying?
That was coming. Yeah.
So, we just don't know. Yeah. That's the catch. Am I excited about what we gonna get? Nope.
But you acknowledge the fact that we could get anything.
There we go.
It could be something crazy dope. It could be something crazy left.
It could just exactly. So I mean, I'm not gonna waste my time being excited about it. I'll wait till it come around, and I know that if it's done with the fervor that he's done everything else, I'm gonna buy in. Because I asked you, are you excited about the next project? You say no. I say no, right? Me and you were both at the fucking listening party, sitting in the theater for an hour and a half, 2 hours, watching a heartbeat until the damn thing started. So to say we wouldn't be excited about a Kanye, you see what I mean? Like, it's relative.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reserve my excitement for the moment. I'm not gonna sit around waiting on the next Kanye though. You see what I'm saying? Wonder what Kanye gonna do next. No, I'm not excited in that way. Not the way I am about Kendrick or the next Pusha T album or the next. You see what I'm saying? Not the way I was excited about Kanye. Right. I was excited about that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not sure what, you know, I'm kind of sure what music I'm gonna get, but I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah.
And you know, but Kanye is a different level of artist. I'm not excited about the next Drake project.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're reading this, You're Too Late drop, I was excited as hell.
Yeah.
Like when I seen that shit on my stream and the hit play, I was like, oh, this is exciting. You know what I mean? It's just a zone. So yeah,
I am excited about Pusha T album.
Definitely. I'm excited and weary.
Oh, didn't expect that. Why are you weary?
It's half Kanye, half Pharrell.
It's gonna be some goods, but keep in mind though, it's Push.
I know
he can rap, but that's not what I'm saying. But he's big on making good songs, so he ain't gonna let Kanye go. Basically, what I'm saying is, Daytona album blew fucking Nasir out the water, and there's a reason, because it's two different people picking beats and two different people viewing music different.
I agree.
So
I agree.
So I think we don't gotta be.
I think I'm gonna put it to you like this: I haven't been blown away by Pusha T's good projects other than Daytona.
I agree with that. He makes great songs.
Right.
We still haven't got a black album, a blueprint from Push. I actually think this coming up may be that.
The reason I can go with you on that is because, like you said, they did get Daytona as right as they did, and Push.
And he was in a bad zone at that time, yeah.
Right, but see, I don't think this depends. Well, this don't necessarily. It depends on Ye, but it depends on Ye, and then it doesn't, right? Because when Ye wasn't necessarily in the bad zone, I don't think, like I said, Pusha T got the best albums out of Good until he got the Daytona. You see what I'm saying? I don't think Push got the best out of Good until Daytona, right? Now, the reason I can't agree with you is because once he found Daytona, I think Push can use the muscle memory that was used to create Daytona and get that same grit from Kanye a second time around.
Yeah.
And then add what Pharrell is going to bring to the table on top of that. You see what I'm saying? I'm actually more afraid about the Pharrell half.
That's what I was gonna say. If I'm worried about any of it, it's the Pharrell half for me.
That's why I was like, I ain't sure. Like I'm worried about the Pharrell half. I believe you on the Kanye half, like, because they got it right with Daytona, and I think Pusha can be like, especially. Well, I'm gonna put it to you this way too: half Ye, half Pharrell. How is that when the first single was produced by 88 Keys?
88 Keys, yeah.
88 Keys was in the third
episode, yep.
So that tells you exactly how the hell why. Because Kanye got some production on that joint. If he didn't add nothing but a...
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so it is what it is. But man, this doc, man, definitely a rewatch. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure rewatchable, yo.
Yeah, I mean, for the reason that you said, by the time you get to episode 3 or the third installment, you understand that it's not really a Kanye doc.
Right.
Now you can go back and look through, Cootie's eyes and see it from. And if you would have known that from the beginning, you would have had a different take on it. So knowing what we know now, I'd like to look at it again.
Yeah.
And maybe I would pick up on certain nuances and certain things that I didn't before, because I was going into it with my own expectations and thinking one way about it already. Right.
And it's funny, I'm glad this conversation played out the way it did, knowing that we're going to have a conversation with Keisha and knowing we're going to have a conversation with Ruth. the slight conversation I did have with Ruse, it was really more about music. And he had a couple music stories that he was like, I'll tell y'all that on the cast, you know what I'm saying, involving whatever. And then Keisha's perspective was it was really after the first episode that we talked, and she was inspired by the relationship with his mom, like you were talking about. So to kind of watch it again, I hopefully will have time to watch it again before we talk to one of them. And then and I think watching it through Cootie's eyes and then having that conversation with Keisha is gonna be good. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And I already know the conversation, but both of them gonna be good. But we know the conversation with Ruse gonna be good because it's, you know, we talk hip hop, we talk beats. Right. You know what I mean? That's one of my favorite people to talk beats with. So you know what I mean? That's an easy win right there. Yeah, easy. Yeah, man. But yeah, I'm happy with this conversation, man. I'm super impressed with this damn documentary.
Yeah, agreed, man.
Where did this rake in hip hop docs, man? I mean, this is. I mean, where we gonna count them, right? Like a quick list of them. What would you say is like Fade to Black, Backstage, Rhyme or Reason, the Beef trilogy.
Man, it's in the top 5.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's definitely in there, along with, you know, Fade to Black.
Yeah.
You said show, right? Did you say the show?
I didn't say the show.
Oh, okay.
I said Rhyme or Reason.
Okay.
I didn't say the show.
Rhyme or Reason, I remember that. The
Backstage.
Backstage.
Yeah, Hard Knock Life Tour. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
I said Beef. That first Beef was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
That first Beef was pretty good, bro. That shit was pretty good. Salute QD3. I think that's who did that. Quincy Jones' son. But yeah, man. You think we did enough on this one?
Yeah, I think so. At least for our first installment.
At least for the first installment. Yeah. For sure. Man, I look forward to continuing the conversation with Keisha and Ruse, man. But I definitely enjoyed this one. And I hopefully we'll have time to watch it again before we have to talk about it again. Before we get to talk about it again.
Yeah, I definitely plan to, man.
Yeah, me too.
Especially now you can just watch.
Yeah, we can binge it.
All three through.
Yeah, now that we can binge it, I'm certain I'll watch it again. No question I'll watch it again. Yeah. It'll probably be playing in the car on my drive to Atlanta this weekend. I can get the whole thing done in one trip. You know what I mean? Yep. So
that's it right there.
Yeah, that's it. So I definitely see it again. Yeah, but with that being said, man, I'm gonna ask y'all to go to all your streaming platforms and subscribe to Conversate for a Few. Go to all your social media platforms and follow Conversate for a Few. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to Conversate for a Few's YouTube page and hit the notification bell so you know when we drop these episodes. Stay tuned for the limited edition Tang Clan merch. And with that being said, I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely was not. This is a podcast about hip hop. Make room for the tag.
Conversate for a few.
Hustle. Welcome, man, they had to send me. Hustle from Raleigh, live from NC with your hosts, John and Alan. Relate to the two. You are now listening to Conversate for a Few. Check it on SoundCloud, debate with your crew. They talking hip hop from the late to the new. From July till June end. No Fridays for me. Tune in. Please listen to this podcast. 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 Please listen to this podcast.